Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Well, here you go, a very intimidating process when you go out to dinner and order wine, especially when you don't know what you're doing, right? Our next guest is going to demystify the whole ordering tasting ritual like a pro. We welcome back Pat, the wine guy, Hellberg.
Thanks, Kara.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, great to be here. Always.
This is a great topic because it is a little nerve-wracking. I mean, you go out to a nice restaurant, you're like, here we go, and then you get dropped this, and you're like, oh my goodness gracious.
Well, the thing is, wine's supposed to be fun, right?
Yeah.
And enjoyable and relaxing, but because of this ritual, it's just the opposite. So we're going to give a few tips on how to, like I said, demystify the process.
First of all, sometimes there's like 10 pages. You know, it's like you're going through and you're like, I don't even know where to start.
Here's a general rule, no matter what the situation is. I say the restaurant, the sommelier, the servers, they're all on your side. They want you to have a positive wine experience at their restaurant. Because if you have a negative wine experience at the restaurant, you might not come back. And they like repeat customers.
Yes.
So put yourself in their hands. Ask for help. They love to help people. So when in doubt, any step of the process, ask the question. So don't feel nervous.
They have a sommelier. They go through a lot of school and learning what wine is like and what to do. So they're the ones to ask.
No question, no question. So let's go through this step by step.
Okay.
You get sat down, you have your menu, and you get a wine list.
Yes.
And the chances are really, really good that wine list has really number of wines that you have no idea what they're about, and you're really baffled as to which wine to order.
Right.
Provide the waitstaff with 2 pieces of information. Okay. What type of wine that you like, what do you usually drink? Are you Pinot Noir or Zinfandel or Cabernet? And also what kind of dinner are you going to have? What are you going to have for dinner? They can take those 2 pieces of information, the wine you usually like to drink, the dinner you're going to have, and they can bring out a bottle that's going to match up and make a good food-wine pairing for you.
What if you don't know if you like Zinfandel, Cabernet, you just know red versus white? Okay.
Then you have to go on petthewineguide.com and learn a little bit more about wine.
There we go, yes.
But that's a good question. But then experiment. And you can just tell them, oh, I like sweeter or I like more bold, and they can dial it in.
Okay, so there's your keywords right there. I like sweeter, a little you don't know. There's some words that you can use to sound a little smarter, right? You're on that date and you don't know what to do for your date.
Exactly,
okay.
Yes. So you've settled on a wine, and they bring it out, they present the wine. Now what are you supposed to do here?
Look at it and say,
that's wine.
That looks good.
No. Your job here is pretty simple. You're supposed to identify the wine and make sure that the wine you ordered is the wine that they brought out.
Okay.
Now, on rare occasions, restaurants get really crazy, and they'll bring out flat out the wrong bottle of wine. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen.
Okay.
What happens more often is the restaurant will bring out the wrong vintage. It'll be the right wine, but the wrong vintage. So I guarantee you that a 2013 Oregon Pinot Noir is going to taste different than a 2014 Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
So you have 2 choices here. You can either take your chances, go with the vintage you didn't order, or go back to the waitstaff and say, you know, I'd rather go back to the wine list and order another bottle.
Okay. So you see it, you say, yes, the white rose, that's correct.
Yep.
Okay.
So then...
Did I say that right?
Let me take one step back.
He's like, no, you didn't.
No,
so let's go back.
It's perfectly fine. People are intimidated. There's sticker shock when you're buying a bottle of wine at a restaurant. One thing to remember, it's quite infrequent. This doesn't happen very often. When you go to a restaurant, you won't see the same wine that you can buy at retail on the wine list at a restaurant.
Right.
Reason for that is there is markup. And we got to give the restaurants markup. That's how they make their money. But if you see a bottle of wine that you can buy at the grocery store for $15 and you see it on their list for $45, you're not going to like that. So I know a lot of people try to beat the system and save some money at restaurants on the wine list. There is this strategy, I'm not sure if it works or not, where people buy the second cheapest bottle of wine. Not the cheapest. They don't want to look super cheap, but they buy the second cheapest bottle of wine. I don't know if that works. Here's my tip. Go back to what you told them. I like this type of wine. This is what I'm ordering for dinner. Can you give me a value bottle given those specifications?
Okay.
And they'll usually try to help you out.
And will it usually be right down the middle?
It can be.
So you do it right. So you present the bottle and then you say, what?
You say, okay, good. That's what I ordered.
Okay.
And then we're going to get into the process of uncorking it.
Okay.
Now, this whole ritual goes back a couple hundred years. In the past, let's call them shaky restaurateurs, dishonest restaurateurs, would take a bottle of good wine when it was empty, they'd fill it up with bad wine and put a cork back into it and sell it as good wine. So that's why we got into this process of checking the cork. And you'll notice since then, wineries put their name on the cork, so to ensure that the bottle has the wine that is matching up with the label. That makes sense. It's to prevent counterfeit wine. So see, white rose, white rose.
Okay.
So here we are with the bottle open, and now what are you supposed to do with the cork?
Keep it and write on it the date and something really cool that happened that night and keep it forever. I've done that.
You can do that. But here's what I suggest. You don't do a lot with the cork. Some people sniff it. That's kind of weird. You don't get anything off that. The condition of the cork is key. If it's intact, this cork is intact.
That's what I'm looking for. Okay.
If it's dry, if it's crumbly, if it's falling apart, big red flag. The cork's been compromised, meaning the wine most likely has been compromised. If you get a bad cork that's falling apart as they open it up, I wouldn't even taste the wine. Just send the bottle back, say, give me another bottle.
So if it breaks, I'd just like another bottle, please.
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, this cork's fine. So we're going to move forward, and they're going to pour you a little sample, usually about an ounce.
Yeah.
What do you do here? Besides make a lot of noise.
To look cool.
Everybody at the table's looking at you right now.
Right. You swirl, you take a little...
You smell. You sniff. You sniff. You sniff 3 times.
Like, that smells delicious.
I'm going to steal a line from a friend of mine, Gabriela Ramos. She is the wine curator at Serato, at Canto, which is a nice restaurant in Southeast Belmont. And Gabriela says, when you're smelling the red wine, if it smells like a wet dog, that's not good.
Oh.
If you're smelling white wine and it smells like cat pee, that's not good. So unless you have a taste for a wet dog or cat pee, send it back. That's bad wine.
Okay.
Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. Sometimes the wine is corked, as they say, and it's compromised.
That smells like cat pee.
Chances are really good it's just going to smell and taste like wine. You taste it, you say, yeah, that's great. Let's keep that bottle. The server will go around the table, fill everyone else's glass, then they'll fill your glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go.
And then you're good to go. One more tip. If it's a heavy, full-bodied red, such as a Cabernet or a Syrah or Bordeaux, it wouldn't hurt, and don't be afraid to ask for it to be decanted, because that will speed up the process where oxygen and the wine come together to bring the wine to its fullest flavor. So there you go. Ask for a decanter, and you're ready for a great meal, a great bottle of wine.
Proper etiquette to take it home if you haven't finished it?
I'm wondering how...
He's like, I don't run into that problem. I'm usually good by the end of the meal.
You certainly can. They put a cork on it and you can take it. Put it in your trunk so it's not in your front seat.
Right. Good. Great tip. Best tip. All right. Thank you so much, Pat.
You bet.
All right. Well, we'll have more information about Pat, the wine guy, on our website.